starting the day at a kind of a sad point, recovering from yesterday. And the numbers over here are going to be wacky because the exit order that I placed was after hours, and so it's going to kind of mess up the numbers that are for today. So, and just watching it this morning in the last little bit here, since in the last 20 minutes or so, it took a nosedive right here, which is very interesting. We can kind of see the channel, the dark green lines here, you can see a portion of the channel, and it is shooting towards the bottom of that channel this morning. It just has been going flat. It's not got enough momentum to be pushing it upwards, but yet there's enough bulls in the market to keep it from dropping too far either. So it's pretty iffy right now. We do seem to be sitting at a support right through here. This dotted line has kind of acted like support for a while now. So not really sure where to go with it right now. I decided to do a short just because it kind of looks like it has been tipping down because of that nosedive here. And, you know, in this zigzaggy pattern, I think it's starting to turn over a little bit. We can kind of see that on the MACD on the very short-term chart. And if you remember what I said yesterday, when it's very volatile, the wisest thing to do is to trade just really small trades. And you may have to do a few more of them, or just don't trade at all if you're just not sure what's going on in the market. I've never really brought myself to that point where I didn't feel like I could trade anymore. So that's probably not a good sign. There probably should be days when I just walk away like I don't know what's going on. So anyway, this is not one of those days. So as you can see, I'm into a short position and it's already showing a $425 loss. So just kind of ignore these numbers for now. All right, so it did drop and I got out when it started to kind of slow down, even though the MACD looks like it's just now nosing over. Sometimes you just can't really make a trade based strictly on the short-term MACD. You have to go with supports, resistance levels, and the longer-term scenario. And you can see on the 4-hour chart, we are now sitting at the SMA, the orange SMA, which is I think the 20 SMA. And so that's going to act as support. And being on the longer-term chart, it's going to have a heavier weighing in on what's happening. So I went ahead and got out. I was happy with that trade. I actually made about 500, I think, on that trade altogether. So that was a really, really good trade, you know, considering what's going on in the market right now. Okay, so then I decided to do another short. It kind of broke through that support level, and the MACD is crossing, and it looks like it could even drop down to this blue SMA here on the 30-minute chart, which is really, really close to the bottom of the channel, and also that drew the Fibonacci line in here. That looks like pretty good support there too. So I did a short here, and now it's starting to look like it might be bouncing up. So I'm questioning this trade, and I did a reverse actually right here. I just didn't even question it even further. I just decided right here, right now, this is what I want to do. So I did a small loss and got into a long. I'm really glad that I did because it did start to go up. And if you look on the 15-minute chart, you can kind of see it looks like a bounce. Now I've seen one of two things happen in this scenario. This is like a downward trend and it takes a little bit of a breather and then continues the downward trend, or it has a huge movement and then it comes right back to where it began again. So I'm not really sure what we're looking at here, but I'm going to guess that it is one of these movements that people are freaking out about and then overcorrecting and bringing it right back up to where it began in the first place. So, and you know, you can kind of see it could probably easily get up to this blue SMA at least, but we'll just have to see. Okay, I decided to, again, go with the shorter trades, which I think was very wise. I got out at a very small profit right there. So now second trade was positive and very small, but positive, so that's good. And then I decided that it was probably going to drop. The green candle kind of dissipated and turned into sort of a doji, which is kind of the beginning of a red candle. Doesn't look like it's got a whole lot of upward momentum right now. And the short-term SMA here is kind of turning over. I just decided to get into a short. Probably should have just stayed out altogether on that trade because I'm not really sure I agree with that anymore. But anyway, I did. So I'm in a short, and it looks like it's going up, unfortunately. But I'm hanging on to hope here. The MACD looks like it might be nosing over. However, the 30-minute and the 15-minute charts are looking like the MACD is going to turn up. And I'm seeing on this one, it does kind of look like it might be doing a recovery move, in which case being in a short is a really bad place to be. So I put in an exit order, but not a reverse, down here at the gold SMA, which is one tick below where I got in. So that would be basically a break-even trade. And I'm in a short here. I canceled that trade. I thought maybe I should just wait until I see the MACD kind of drop and then recover before I actually got out, instead of just assuming that it's not going to get down past that point. So kind of hanging on to that one. And it does seem to be going up a little bit further. So then it, bounced off of this point. Possibly that's acting as a support level now. Not too far away from where I got in, so it's not like a huge loss. The MACD is telling me to maybe hang on. I might be able to get back some of my losses. Very volatile. It's bouncing off of that gold SMA again. And still hanging on here. Now the MACD looks like a golden cross has developed here, and it's actually matching what I see on all of the other charts. And again, I'm at a loss of 375, which is, it's unfortunate, but it's not like huge either. It's pretty easy to recover from one that size. So kind of waiting for a good opportunity to possibly reverse again. And I put in an order to reverse right there at that gold SMA. It's kind of getting squeezed again in between these two lines. And it took it. So now I'm in a long position, and that trade was a bit of a loss, but I'm glad that I did it because now it's starting to go up, and we'll see if it breaks through this kind of resistance level here at the blue SMA. On the longer term charts, it does look like it could easily get up to that point. I've actually placed my exit order at the gold SMA on the 30-minute chart. And it shot up right through here. That happened within just a split second. And I went ahead and put in a stop order real quick because this is an $800 trade. I really don't want to risk that. And the MACD looks like it might be nosing over again. So I got stopped out, canceled the other order, and now I've gotten another good trade under my belt here, and trying to figure out what's next. So the MACD looks like it might be nosing over, and we've kind of reached that level that I thought it was going to get up to. It might get up just a little bit further. Not really sure at this point. I decided to do a short order, it looks like, and I placed a limit, and it was moving fast enough that it zipped above my order before it executed. And so it got filled. Let me go back again. I put it in at 38, and it got filled just a few ticks above that. So I'm in a short now, and I'm hoping that it will drop down to the gold SMA here, which would be a really good trade. It's looking good. Looks like it may have hit that and dropped. Unfortunately, I kind of missed that little window of opportunity. It just kind of flickered down there real quick and then jumped back up. So now I've kind of run back to where I got in again, and the MACD is looking a little worrisome. Okay, so when it took a drop down again, I got out right there, and it was just a few ticks above the gold SMA. So that was another good trade. It wasn't a great trade, but it was a good one. And then I decided that the line is holding, so perhaps a long at this point would be good, because I do think perhaps it will get back up to that gold SMA. So I'm in a long position here. And the MACD on the short-term chart is looking good. However, it took a little bit more of a drop than I was anticipating. And I think we'll be okay just looking at the MACDs here, but unfortunately it is going to drop a little bit further than I was hoping. Okay, so again, I put the exit order on that gold SMA on the 30-minute chart, waiting for it to turn. The MACD is low enough and looking like it could possibly be turning. Backed up to where I got in here. Looking good. It kind of broke through what I could have acted like a ceiling, but it kind of broke through that, so that's good. And it fizzled right there, which is lower than this peak. So that was a little bit worrisome as well. Not sure it's going to get up to this point. So I went ahead and lowered my order in here to get out at about a $200 profit. Again, very small trade. It took a little while for it to get filled. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It filled, and then I decided to do a short at this point. So I'm just kind of going both ways here. The longer term MACDs over here, that kind of tells me this is maybe not the best trade, but we are sitting at a resistance level, so maybe short is okay. We'll see. Got into a short there, and it dropped, and I decided to play it again. And I did a reverse here, which I'm not sure that was the best idea either, but I kind of thought it was at a support level. This gold line is kind of acting like a support level. So I'm in a good trade here, and then I'm reversing positions. And that actually ended up being a pretty good thing to do. So I reversed, and then it came back up again. So now I'm in another profitable trade here, and I'm doing very small moves. So I put in an exit order right there, got filled. And so you can see those last 4 trades, I only made like $200 each time. But, you know, that really adds up, and that's actually a really good way to trade this kind of a market. So I had a few really big trades, a couple losses, but overall I'd say this was a really good trading day, as tricky as it was. And I ended up making, a good profit of $1,500 or so. It did take me 9 trades to do it, but I'm ending the month now at over $11,000 in profit just this month with a $26,000 investment. So that is pretty awesome. Thanks for joining me.